All right. Whoa, excuse me. So we are live. Obviously, you guys are going to notice a little bit of a difference. Hopefully, this is coming through. This is going through my DSL camera, which is going to be a little bit better. I don't feel as comfortable looking into the camera because I can't see any comments. I don't know how many people are watching, and I'm just talking into a camera like I'm crazy. I already know that I'm a little bit crazy, but this is going to be a different setup. If you guys are new, go live every single morning, 8:45, 9 o'clock, 9:15, the latest, depending on the gym session. Today was obviously a nice early session, so 9 o'clock should be good. There should be a better way that I could see what's going on. But anyway, yeah, this should be good. All right, so let's start into it. Good morning to whoever's watching. There we go. Okay, there we go. I'll turn down my... Okay, there we go. All right. So, talking about loneliness versus lonely, depressed versus depression, happy versus happiness. You know, these are all states of being, okay? And, you know, I've talked about it multiple times already, which is lost connections. So lost connections, let me just turn my, I don't want to look at myself talking. So Lost Connections is a book that has just flipped my world upside down. I don't agree with everything that he talks about in there, but there's enough in there that it's actually a really, really good read because I started noticing things on how much we chase. We chase so much. Okay, you can have someone, you know, Tony Robbins has brought up the example. He didn't disclose the person's name, but this very famous woman won her first Oscar. She goes back to her hotel room and she's like, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Her life is exactly the same. She won her Oscar. And that's the thing is, it wasn't about, everyone knows her. So it's not that the amount of people around you, it's not that you're famous. Okay, look at Chester in Lincoln Park. The guy, he was depressed. You can go through periods where I just lost my job, shit is really hard, my health is suffering, but it's not depression yet, it's depressed. The problem is that there's a lot of doctors that diagnose you as depressed. In other words, it's a state, okay? You are lonely versus loneliness. Loneliness is a state of being. That doctors say this is what you are, and you either can or you can't change it. They either medicate you and then you're addicted to the medications, and or you feel this is who I am forever. It's a state of being versus this is who I am. Okay, lonely. I'm lonely right now. You know, I don't actually say that. I don't remember the last time I said that. And I'm not saying, oh, Charles is this king guy that has all these friends. No. I'm rarely around a lot of people, number one. Number two is I'm rarely around, it's really, you could be around one person your whole life. But if you have a deep connection with that person, if you actually feel the internal happiness, it's like happy versus happiness. You know, gratitude versus gracious. I'm gratitude, I feel gracious in the moment, or I am a state of being. This is who I am. Because I know what it used to be like. You know, one of the things, I'm going to go up to the, there we go. That's grammar, baby. Yo. All right. So, all right, we got a full house finally. All right. Obviously, it's probably good. I can't look at myself over here to the left because then I just get distracted. This is the thing is when you start actually looking at your life as states instead of who you are, you can change anything. One of the biggest things that clicked in my life was in the last 30 days. And someone mentioned it about 2 days ago. They said something about, I'm looking to change something. I used to say the exact same thing. This is my mindset. So in other words, change means there's something that's, I don't know, however you think about it, you know, there's something wrong with me, or I want to wake up early, or I want to get into shape, or I want to get new business, or whatever. You're thinking that it's more of a permanent situation than it really is. And that was pretty much yesterday's video that I tried to actually convey, is that it is literally just right now. Right now. Time heals. The amount of people that fucked up their career way back in the day, there's actually statistics, there's studies that have been done, is that if you go 70 years of being a saint, and then you screw up the last two, like say you are immoral or unethical or illegal or you do something, your whole career, look at all the Me Too's. What if in 1970 something was found out and it was handled at that time? And then they went on to this long, prosperous career. They handled it back in the day, and they actually said that they would be able to forgive someone in 1970 if 30 years passed, and then you layered all this good stuff on top of it. Why? Because they said if you do the opposite, where you do 30 years of just unbelievable, prosperous, beautiful work, and then the last two are fucked up, they look at only the fucked up part. It's why you have to end your emails in a positive note. You always lead with the negative. When you're in a conversation, you always lead with the negative. When you're in a negotiation, you just say it out, and then you say, here's the solution, or this is what we're gonna do. Here's the problem, here's the solution. Most people say, well, this is what I think we should do. And by the way, here's the problem. It's like, no. Here's the problem. So the problem is, I want more business. Okay, so instead of actually saying that you are depressed or broke, so it's either broke or poor. Poor is a state, that's who you are. Broke is right now. That's just right now, I'm broke. Okay? I don't even want to say those words, like even just say it, because that gets into my psychology. But if you are without money right now, that's just a state that you're in. It's not, you're poor. Okay? It's the reason being is that if there is something that you can change, use the word improve. Improve. This is one area I'm looking to improve. Instead of say, I want to change this. That means that there is something here that you need to change. It says, no, it's already good. I'm just looking to improve it. I'm already waking up. I'm looking to improve it by waking up at 9 a.m. or 8:45 or 8:30. Or be here for Charles's live. I have no idea. But using the word improve has just dramatically, it's the nomenclature, which is the verbiage that we use, is so vital to our success. Because when you hear someone that's successful talk and they're asked a question, like Elon Musk is a perfect example. Look at his interviews, the way that he answers questions. He had this one interview, I think it was 60 Minutes, where Scott Pelley, the interviewer, asked him, and he said 2009, he talked about how tough it was, and he asked for 2 loans, and they already had 2 failed rocket launches, and he talked about how they had no money on the 3rd rocket launch if it failed, and it was a success. But Scott Pelley said, did you just ever want to give up? And his answer, before he even answers, you could see in his mind, he scrunches his eyebrows like, that wasn't even. In other words, he had all these failed attempts. Elon wasn't saying, I'm a failure. Or he said, he probably didn't even say, I failed, but it said, those were unsuccessful launches. It's a state. I can't stress this enough, because so many people walk around and they, I wrote, I don't know what, a couple of days ago on Instagram about, and I got some messages about it, is that change is possible in any area of life. Okay, by the way, it's guaranteed. Change is guaranteed. People that you know are going to die. People that you love are going to break up with you or leave you or die or come closer, or money that you have, you're giving away and getting new money. Your body is always changing. Cells, millions of cells are dying right now and being reborn. State of change is inevitable. That's what things. Go look at a place that's abandoned. Okay, there's this island off of Manhattan that it was a psychiatric ward. Before that, it was a military base, and it was built 200 years ago. 300. Well, obviously the land was there, but the base was built 200, 300, 400 years ago. Say 300 years ago or 200, whatever the fuck it is. Doesn't matter. This is the thing is, look at how much growth has happened over the last 50 years. You wouldn't even know that nature has taken over. Okay, so when we say that we're looking to change, say we're looking to improve, and leave it in the comments below. Like, what is one area that you are looking to improve? Once we look at it, because you could look in the mirror and you say, I'm fat. Okay, when you say I'm fat or I'm broke, those are areas not only you can improve, but you're also looking at it and you're saying it's going to be challenging. This is going to be a hard road, and I don't know if I can do it. Okay? If you say, I don't know if there is a shadow of a doubt, I'll give you this example. So in the morning when I'm on my rebounder, there's a great book out there. It's called Love Yourself. I think it's called I Love You, or it's called Love. I think it's called Love Yourself. And it's a guy, he was suicidal, and he just every single day would put his hand over his heart, as corny as it may sound, and he would say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Brian Tracy says, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself. So I said, you know what, I'm going to try this. So part of my affirmations when I end, and Tony Robbins actually had this many years ago when I was at his UPW, Unleash the Power Within, and he said, in there, I just want to make sure that I'm still live. Okay, good. In there, he would say, you know, he said, thank you, or I love myself, thank you. Corny as it sounds, I started saying that and looking in the mirror, and it was weird. It was really weird. So it went from weird to not believing it to, all right, there's still a little bit of doubt to, wow, okay. And once you get to that state, and this is the thing is that it's like a relationship. Somebody screws up in your relationship. It's not like you stop loving them. You know, they're late, or you get into a fight. What, are you done with the relationship? No, it's a state. It's just temporarily. You lost business? That's temporary. Let's get some new business. You missed the gym? Perfect. Let's go tomorrow. You know, it was funny because I was on the rebounder, and now when I say I love myself, it's this weird feeling where I actually believe it. And it's this weird feeling of actually believing it and seeing it. And it's like a weird combination of just like, wow, okay. And then you start, I don't know. It's like, there's a difference between self-love and self-loathing or criticism. Obviously, yes, Charles, those are different words. Okay. But when you look at it and you say, not only do the words matter, not only do how I talk to myself matters, but not only do I see who I am, because you'll live into your identity. We already know that. We already know you'll live into your identity. If you think you're famous, you will live into the identity of being famous. That's the whole affirmation, visualization, and actually having that come to fruition, is that you live into the champion or the gold medalist, or they do that, and they actually have statistics. There's crazy studies out there of people that have taken we already know the placebo effect, but they've actually done this where they've done free throws. A team that practices 1,000 free throws, a team that does their regular free throws that they would normally do, and that would be the control group, and then people that just visualized making 1,000 free throws, visualized. They actually said that there was a slight difference between the people that visualized making the free throws and the people that actually practiced making the free throws. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's nuts. That should not happen. But that also just shows the power of the mind. That just shows the power of the mind. If we say we're lonely, we will be lonely. If we say that we are depressed, we will be depressed. If we say we're unhappy, we will be unhappy. The opposite is true. I'm wealthy. I love myself. I have multiple streams of income. But you have to take the action. Part of law of attraction is the action part. Visualization is very important. It is. I don't do enough of it. I would say that's one area to improve. I don't say I want to change this, but that is one. It seeps in the unconscious and keeps you motivated. Yeah, I would say the unconscious, because you live into that identity. The easiest way is you go to the Bob Proctor videos, and he explains it brilliant. He calls it the terror barrier, TERROR, terror barrier. And he says, once you reach that barrier, it could be you're used to making 10 phone calls, and then you run against that barrier, and then you say, another 5? Ooh, I don't know. And then you get nervous, and then say you push that, and you do those 5, you sometimes come right back to the 10 the next day. He said, you have to literally stretch it like a rubber band and hold it, and hold it, and hold it, and hold it. Here's a good example. My niece was staying at my mom's place, and, my grandma. So niece, grandma. And my mom said after 5, young girl, she's like, I don't know, 4 or 5. And my mom said after day 5, she felt bad because she really wanted to leave and go back home. My brother was on vacation with his wife. And I told my mom, I said, she's never been away from home for that long. It's not you. her comfort zone. And my mom isn't as welcoming when it comes to all the sugar and garbage that my brother unfortunately has at the house, and I have an influence over them getting rid of that. But she's used to all this shit. So imagine waking up and eating healthier, waking up, it's not your familiar home, waking up, everything is different. That's change. So my mom thought it was her saying, I'm not entertaining her enough, I'm not good enough. And I said, no, Mom, what are you, nuts? This is because the kid has never stretched beyond her limits of leaving the house for 5 days at a time and staying anywhere. It could be grandma's house, it could be McDonald's, it could be Toyland, Toys R Us, it doesn't well, can't really say that anymore. It doesn't really matter because the kid knows she has a level of comfort. You know, this is only a 4 or 5 year old, okay? 5, we'll just say 5. You know, that's our areas of life. That's our areas of life, is that, you know, I'll give you this example. Phelps has played the race so many times and said that when he Googles water, goggles got water. Oh yeah, that's crazy. That is a crazy statistic. So I'll give you this, is that Tony Robbins has already broken it down. He said confidence comes from progress. If you are not progressing, you stagnate. If you stagnate, that means you're going down. If you start going down long enough, you start saying, why am I here? That leads into midlife crisis. Midlife crisis, broken down, is a 30 to 45-year-old person, doesn't matter about gender, 45-year-old, 35 to 45-year-old person who's married, that has maybe 1 to 2 kids, that has a very expensive house. They've been going to the exact same job for probably 5, or at least the same industry for 5 to 10 years. And then they say, this is my life. They say that in their mind. They reach a point, they're going, oh my God, I'm getting married, holy cow, I have kids, I have this beautiful house, holy cow, blah, blah, blah. And then they reach a point where they're just a cog in the wheel. They're a cog in the wheel, and they don't see any progress. They don't see progress in their relationship. It actually may get worse. They're not having sex enough. They're not saying I love you. Maybe the relationship with the kid, because the kid is only 2 or 3 years old, can't communicate and do all the things that an adult can do. They're in this house for 10 years or 5 years or whatever, and they say that one question, or actually it's a statement, this is my life. This is my life. And then they don't think one thing is possible, which is change. I call it improvement. They don't think improvement is possible. And once you think that, you then hit the state of, oh my God, and then you freak out. I was talking to my mom, and there was someone very close to us that actually went into a psychiatric ward, because I always asked, where did Mr. go? And she said he had a nervous breakdown. He retired, and then he lost his shit. And he lost his shit because he had no purpose. He was like, why am I here? And he just lost his shit. It was unfortunate for the family, unfortunate for the wife. It was crazy. He went literally into a psychiatric ward. Someone that I used to play at his house and everything else. He was normal then, but he retired. He had no purpose. So that's why not only is change is inevitable, okay? Progress is not. Progress is you taking proactive action towards what you want to do. All right. So hope this helped. Yeah, the zombie stage. But this is the thing, is that it's easy to call it out. It's easy to call it out. You're in the zombie stage. Oh my God, you have no purpose? Get a purpose. Well, what about yourself? What about yourself? You know, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm waking up at 4:30, 4:15 tomorrow. Okay, so this is me pushing myself. Put my mouth where it is. And we would normally do a ride. So it's going to be really nice in New York City. We normally do a ride to the patrol station. So the patrol station is probably 30 miles outside of the city, and then come back. It's not 30, it's 15. So it's 30 total. And that's about 3 hours of riding. And we're pretty good on the bike. So it's aggressive biking. That would be 3 hours. Typically, I would do that. I would wake up at 5, be back in my apartment by 8, and then go live or come to work and blah, blah, blah. Tomorrow we have a property tour. So tomorrow we have a property tour, and I said to my riding partner, I said, Jeff, I'm like, let's push it. Let's go all the way to the market. And the market is 25 miles outside the city, then 25 miles back. So we're not doing 30, we're doing 50. Okay. And then I'm going to roll into the property tour like a boss. And I said, let's try it. Let's try it. I'm also trying a couple other things. Grant there went to a depression, and Grant, he lost his purpose. I talked about that yesterday. Once you lose someone close to you, especially at that stage, it's like, why am I here? I can't add the value that I was. My value was my spouse, and then the spouse leaves, and then you're fucked, unless you find another purpose. The purpose could be as small as gardening, taking out the trash, walking around the block, writing every day, Scrabble. The smallest things to keep the mind engaged. That's why I don't like drinking as much. I used to go out and party, and I noticed it was an escape. I was escaping. And then I just said, you know what? My escape is going to be education, improvement, a natural high, not an artificial high, because I noticed I was waking up late on Saturdays. I was groggy. I was hungover. Things like that. How many days a week do you? So Monday is hot athletic yoga, which is cardio conditioning. Tuesdays is like a CrossFit. Wednesday is like a CrossFit. Thursday is like a CrossFit, and Friday is like kind of like an easy kind of deal. I know my body type. I would rather be athletically conditioned than anything else. Some people want to go for bulk. I'm going for endurance and speed. That's what I'm going for. Not marathon speed, but I'm talking about speed like lifting a weight and bringing it over there as quick as possible. I like the CrossFit body rather than the bodybuilder body or the runner body, okay? Or the cycling body, because the cycling body is really thin arms, big legs, but that's what they do. Running is just really fucking thin. George Bush just died, and now he's on life support a week later. Yeah. What's that noise? Is there a noise? Sorry about that. If there is. I'm going to leave you guys now, but I did want to say this one thing, ironically enough, which is, so when I was, I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, so we go live every single weekday. Tomorrow it's going to be a little bit later. But pushing myself, I would say, is the number one thing that I need to do. Because if I'm not pushing myself, I feel weird. I feel like what Travis Pastrana said. Travis Pastrana said that if he is not feeling uncomfortable that day, he just gets this icky. Most people are like, they're going for the comfort. They're going for the safety. They're going for their zone of just what they know every single day. The problem is when you do that over and over and over and over and over and over, you're going over and over and over and over and over. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm also, just going back to the health thing, I'm not doing this to be in shape right now. I'm doing this so I'm healthy in 50, 60, 70 years, that my joints are good, my back is good, my shoulders are good, my elbows are good. I still have the energy, I still have the enthusiasm. I'm eating well now because I want to get the habits later on that I literally have enough money that I can have someone making this. What's his name had a great video yesterday. It was about 11 industries that are going to get disrupted, and one of them was food. This was a very interesting observation that he made. This was on Valuetainment, and his name is something Patrick David. I forgot his first name, unless that's his name, whatever. And he said food is that you're going to be able to hire a chef that's going to come to your house for $20 an hour, $25 an hour, $30 an hour, whatever it is. They're going to come with the food, they're going to cook it, and they could even cook all the meals, or they could cook that one meal. So they're actually going to have people come to your house. So instead of delivery, person's going to come by. Imagine that. A chef is making $30 an hour, and they do, or $40 an hour, I don't know. I don't know the pricing, because they have to buy the food, they bring it to you, they cook it for you. They're going to have that in store. That's an amazing observation, and I think that's going to happen. I would say the only value that any human is going to provide is an experience, number one. Number two is creativity. And number three is that actual sales push. That actually pick up the phone and just say, lean on the pen. Just give them that necessary nudge. Those are the only three. Analytical, gone. Surgery, gone. So many services are going to be out, like banking, like money, physical money. I don't know. Maybe it's still going to be around because there's a lot of dirty money. I have no idea. But I can tell you right now, if you're not getting better right now, you're fucked in the future. That's what it comes down to. Truck drivers, taxi drivers, they're all gone. They're all gone. All of them. And unfortunately, there might be universal basic income, which they tried in, I think for somewhere in Canada, and they're talking about the amazing results. Dude, if you give someone universal basic income, Peter Diamandis has already talked about, he said, if you go universal basic income, what's that person's purpose? What's their legacy? What do they have to live for? If you're giving them everything, you're giving them food, shelter, money, you're giving them everything. They're not even working for the service of money to then use. It's a lot better that someone works for money and then spends that money than is given that money. You know, how many things do you appreciate because you're giving, you actually went out and bought it with your own money rather than it was a gift? Yeah, you'll appreciate it, but you're like, this was a gift. Okay, it's actually a psychological thing in the book Dollars and Cents. Highly recommend the book Dollars and Cents. And they talk about it. They say people that get a bonus or people that win like the lottery, you know, like $50, $60, I'm not talking about millions of dollars, they will actually spend that money not thinking it's still money. They think, well, it's a bonus. It was something that wasn't going to be in my life, you know? So, happy Wednesday. I'm going to be hopping out and pushing myself tomorrow. And this is the last thing, I promise. This is going to be the last thing. I don't know if you guys are leaving comments. A lot of noise. Government against global. How do you assess the work of government against global warming? Fucking terrible. No, by the way, no one's actually doing anything for global warming. Listen, I'm not a tree hugger. I'm not a guy that's going to be out there picketing with a sign or whatever. If there is noise, I'm sorry. You know, then I don't know. We're going to go back to your regularly scheduled iPhone tomorrow. No one, listen, my Instagram story, I said something very interesting. I was at Whole Foods this morning picking up oatmeal, and which doesn't have the best oatmeal, by the way. It's not as good as fika. It's very thick. It's just not as digestible in the body. It is healthy, but it's just not as good as fika. Fika is more of a liquid based, gives you the fiber and everything you need. So, I was talking with the cashier, and she said, I said, I don't need a bag. She goes, oh, thank God. I'm like, what? She goes, everyone wants a bag. I'm like, that's so wasteful. She goes, I know. I'm like, it starts right there at the register. Why do you need a bag? I had 2 oatmeals and a kombucha. I don't need a freaking bag. Yeah, I'm walking around. People are like, oh my God, you're walking around with 2 oatmeals? Yeah. Or she had literally double bagged, whatever, paper. That's crazy. I said, no, there needs to be a tax, okay? There needs to be something that says, if you don't do this, blah, 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 whatever. I'm not going to get into that. That's not a big deal. But I'll give you this. There's 2 things that we're trying out, and Erwin is going to see this because obviously he's in real estate. But we're launching 2 properties. We're launching 2 bedrooms. One is at 1.1 and the other one's at $2 million. $1 million and whatever. $1 million. Yes, Patrick, Bet David is. Noise is hardly noticeable. Wow. All right. Well, maybe she's got her thing on crazy. Whatever. I can actually turn that down now that you say it. There we go. Hopefully that helped a little bit. But anyway, this is the last thing I'm going to say is that, so we're launching a new property, and the difference between us and everyone else is that we do property tours, we do Facebook Lives, we sponsor it, all these other things that other companies are not doing. This is what we're adding, and I don't know if it's going to work. I have no idea if it's going to work. But this is the thing, is that you have no idea unless you actually try it. And then this is the thing, is that if it doesn't work, people are like, oh my God, you idiot. And then the other thing is, if it works, they're like, you're brilliant. Yeah, but no one's tried this. Number one is a giveaway. So we're giving away at our first open house $125. I'm still thinking about the amount. $125 Amazon account. We're going to put it on social media. We're going to put it on the listing description. We're going to put it, wherever we could put it. We're going to say first open house, $125 Amazon giveaway. We're going to try it. Does that look corny? Maybe. I have no idea. Maybe people are going to like it. Maybe people are not going to like it. I have no freaking idea. Okay. Number 2 is we are going to download everyone's cell phone number within a 1 mile radius and send them a voicemail. We're not going to call them. We're just going to send them a voicemail and say, hey, how's it going? We just put a 2-bedroom on. It may sound brilliant. It may flop. Maybe people hate us. Maybe they write bad reviews. I have no idea. Or maybe more people come to the open house. Maybe people appreciate it. Maybe we get it over the asking price and then we get another apartment. I have no idea. But this is the thing. We have to try things. We can't just accept. That's the problem. There's too much acceptance. All right. So I know we're completely off topic right now. Me too. never gave an extra bag. In England, major companies legally have to charge you for plastic bags. Yeah, it's, listen, we are in such a individualistic, as opposed to instead of tribal mentality. It's crazy. We are so individualistic. That is one thing that I want to change. I want to improve. Still, obviously, getting that. One thing I want to improve is how individualistic America is. Europe is very tribal. Well, sort of tribal. Obviously, it's a little bit different. But tribal in the fact is, what's good for me is good for everyone. Or I'm sorry, whatever is good for me may not good for everyone, so I'm not going to do it. But in the United States, they leave the water on, they leave their lights on, they get extra plastic bags because this is what's convenient to me. The good thing with that is that it's an abundance mentality. The bad thing is that it's an abundance mentality. So the good thing is there's an abundance mentality where there's plenty. There's plenty of plastic bags. There's plenty of paper bags. There's plenty of water and electricity and energy and things like that. We'll figure it out. Someone will figure it out. Thank you, Elon. The other is that it's wasteful. It's inefficient. And if you're inefficient in that, where else are you inefficient in your life? Inefficient in how much you check your cell phone, how much TV you watch, how much alcohol you drink, how much sugar you consume. It's just, it all boils down. How you do something is how you do everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So the Amazon thing sounds cool. I don't know what I said about Amazon. Oh, the Amazon gift card. All right, guys. So I'm going to hop out. Hopefully this was relatively all right based on the fact that I have a DSL camera. And if you guys are new, subscribe to the video, share the video. Let's make a freaking dent in this universe, all right? Let's make personal development cool. And I'm actually thinking of even going further into the personal development on my Instagram and further into real estate on BPI and then just freaking blowing it out, all right? So leave your comments below. Hopefully you guys enjoy your Wednesday in New York City. It's going to be 80 degrees. I'm going live. If you guys are not friends with me on Facebook, I'm going live at an $8.7 million loft in Tribeca. Hopefully, it was listed for many years. I'm going to send it to a client that may be interested. 8.7 place is sick. Absolutely sick. So hopefully you guys enjoy that if you want to check it out. See you guys tomorrow. Leave your comments below.